Hello and welcome to this overview of financial planning, where you'll also get to know me more as your potential financial advisor. Sana, by the end of this presentation, mas makilala niyo ako, not just professionally, but personally as well. Pagdating sa finances, it's really important to know sino ang kadil mo, especially because you'll be sharing confidential information with someone who can influence major decisions. So for now, let's just spend a bit of time getting to know my background. Hopefully, this builds more trust and gives you confidence in doing business with me. At the same time, it helps you see kung saang areas ng journey nyo I can assist and support you. Way back in 2004 to 2005, I was taking biochemistry sa University of Santo Tomas, but due to family issues, things took an unexpected turn and I had to stop studying. In 2007, my sister brought me to a small church mission here in Benguet, where I immersed myself in mission outreaches. During mission work, I realized hindi talaga uubra ang outreach kapag walang finances. So that pushed me to establish Zenix Enterprises. Zenix Enterprises became a digital marketing company that offered online training materials and digital info products mainly in the field of marketing. In 2011, I converted the business into a corporation. Ito yung stage na natutunan ko how to set up a corporation and handle government compliance requirements. And by 2015, with the knowledge I gained from selling digital marketing products, I expanded into offering BPO services to clients abroad. This is commonly known as freelancing, but the difference is that I had long term employment with companies, paid almost like a US based employee, and having all those kinds of benefits. So, this helped me gain solid experience in freelancing, or I mean in the BPO industry, in remote work systems and international transactions. In 2017, I started investing in real estate, specifically condominium properties. I acquired and resold properties from Vista Residences dito sa Baguio, Torre Lorenzo in Las Piñas and in Lipa, Batangas, and SMDC, most recently, here in Mall of Asia and near Mega Mall in Quezon. This gave me working knowledge and hands on experience in real estate investments. And sooner, I'll be diving into the industry of Airbnb. So in 2018, I resumed my studies at the University of the Cordilleras, and by God's grace, I graduated with a degree in financial management as magna cum laude. So take note, hindi ito pandemic grade ha. It was a cumulative grade from the years in UST all the way to the UC, habang full-time akong nag-run ng online business. So we were also the first batch to have online graduation. Thankfully, our church held a celebration where I was able to personally award my medal to my mom. In 2022, I founded Saver's Cabin Agri Products Inc., a vegetable business based in Silang, Cavite that supplies restaurant chains in Tagaytay and market vendors in Cavite. The business was supposed to start during the pandemic, but we were so focused on doing relief operations during the Baguio Benguet lockdown, if you remember that. So, partnering with some individuals and LGUs, especially in Banawe, our church team was able to reach out to thousands of stranded individuals and families. Kami ang king of the road noon because we pioneered relief operations in the area, reaching Itogon, Quezon, and far-flung villages across the Benguet. That was the time na wala pang mga relief operations. It only came like after 3 weeks after that lockdown. So nung dumami na yung nag-relief operation that time, we continued by providing donations to different schools, giving out learning materials like office supplies, radios, flash drives, and visuals to support the students. Ito yung time that the DepEd mandated for teachers to reach out to the students. Like they have to record their lessons and give this radio stuff to the kids, and they have to listen to their lessons. Para lang continuous yung learning while they are in lockdown. So in 2022, I rebranded Genius Enterprises into Outsource Movere Business Management Services. It's a sole proprietorship business. And by early 2025, Outsource Movere LLC was officially registered in the United States as we continued to expand our reach. So ang tanong, with my busy schedule, bakit ko pa pinasok ang financial coaching industry? So going back, while building my businesses, to provide livelihood to families by providing employment, I was also serving full-time sa missions outreach. One of my roles was to assist village folks in hospitals whenever there were medical emergencies. And I witnessed many times that a lot of families are financially unprepared when the unexpected happens. It affects their finances, their choices, even kung government ba or private hospital sila mapupunta. So what I usually do is to connect many patients to government aid programs whenever there are problems with bills at the time of their discharge. So naisip ko, paulit-ulit lang yung scenario na to. And I realized Actually, the only long term solution is opening the minds of our kababayans about financial preparedness. Just sharing a story. In 2024, my sister had a car accident in the UAE. Because of their advanced medical teams, they had to open her head on the spot to prevent bleeding from reaching her brain. And then she was rushed to the ER and her bills skyrocketed kasi meron na yung mga titanium implants on her arm and on her leg. But despite the fear and stress, we felt peace knowing that everything, almost a million worth of bills, was covered by insurance. Even the travel of our family from the Philippines was covered. Kaya nakapunta kami ni mama ko on short notice. Usually, when these emergencies happen, life takes a downturn. But proper financial planning made a huge difference. After her recovery, we were even able to enjoy touring Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And instead of spending my travel fund, nagamit ko pa for shopping. Kaya mukha talaga akong bike bayan pag uwi. So what is financial planning? So financial planning is a step-by-step approach that helps you keep track of the following. Ito yung income, yung expenses, and yung savings mo, the debt, and the investments. Let's look at what most call the financial pyramid. So just like the pyramids of Giza, it symbolizes strength and stability, standing for thousands of years. And just to be clear, no, hindi to yung pyramid scam. Yung pyramid scam, they only share the shape, it's not the structure. So in the financial pyramid, one pillar is safety, how your assets are protected. Next is liquidity, how accessible your assets are in times of need. And then the yield, the yield. That's how your wealth grows while remaining protected and accessible. The basic foundation of the financial pyramid starts with emergency funds. So ano ba ito? This is like 3 to 6 months or worth of monthly expenses. This gives you enough time to recover if an income source is compromised. So usually people keep these emergency funds in the bank, which has like 0.25% interest, digital banking, which is like 3 to 4% interest, and co-op, which is 3 to 4% interest. So an example of digital banking is yung CIMB bank, maganon. But I prefer to use a digital bank that is backed by a physical bank. So an example of that is the Union Digital Bank, you know. So it's from Union Bank. So I'm thinking if ever something happens, you know, at least mayroong Union Bank na pupuntahan mo. So next would be savings. These are funds meant for upcoming purchases, gadgets, travel plans, and other planned milestones. Again, people usually keep this in the bank, digital banking, and co-op. Bakit? Kasi there should be the accessibility, no? There should be yung what tinatawag na nila liquidity. Kapag kailangan mo, nakukuha mo na agad siya. And then followed by life and health insurance. So ang tanong, what is the target income protection fund? So ano ba yung like value of the insurance that I should get? So ideally, let's move this. Ideally, your target income protection fund should be like 120 times your monthly expenses. So bakit 120 times? Kasi that represents like 120 months, which is like equivalent to 10 years. So if the monthly expense is 20,000, that would be times 120. That would have a coverage of like 2.4 million. So ibig sabihin, a family that has this kind of expenses would survive it within 10 years. So let's say yung breadwinner is unfortunately nawala, no? So having this kind of fund, it actually gives enough more time for the family to source for a new source of income. So yan yung reason kung bakit there's like your monthly expenses times 120. So that's like giving you 10 years of the supposed income of the breadwinner. Let's look at the cost of getting critical illnesses according to this study. So the cost of getting critical illnesses in the Philippines, let's say stroke, usually costs like 1.8 million. Acute heart attack is 980K, lung cancer is 2.8, breast cancer is around 440,000, renal failure is around 432,000 kasi mayroong mga maintenance yan, no? Yung mga dialysis and all. Assuming you have a stroke and you rely on PhilHealth. So yung stroke has the cost of treatment of around 980,000. But assuming you have PhilHealth, yung top tier na binibigay ni PhilHealth package is like around 520,000. So 980 minus 520, you are still left with 460,000 to cover the medical cost. The next tier for heart attack for PhilHealth is like 100 plus thousand. So let's say yan yung amount na in-approve ni PhilHealth para sa'yo. So you actually end up like paying or backing up like 880,000. So alam naman natin si PhilHealth. It doesn't really give you the top tier when it comes to the packages. This is why the recommendation for health insurance coverage is actually 5 times your annual income. So insurance is the third step because without emergency funds and savings, you risk lapsing your policy, which protects the majority of your financial pyramid. So kailangan natin talagang ma-set up yung emergency funds and the savings. So once your critical base steps are set, you can now move to investments. So ito yung mga mutual funds, stocks, Pag-ibig MP2, and then VUL. Ano ba itong VUL? So VUL is the variable unit linked insurance. It means that a portion of your contribution is invested in stocks. So habang covered ka up to age 100, your funds have potential to grow depending on the market. Again, this is not guaranteed, but long-term inflation trends show a rising line. So it's proven that when we're looking at the long term, may potential talaga for growth yung stocks, no, or yung, let's say, yung, these kinds of stocks or investment. But again, it's not guaranteed, just like any risky investment. Pero ang maganda, you're protected and there's potential for growth. So legit companies don't actually claim that stocks or the stocks investment is guaranteed, pero may potential yan. So common sense would tell us that that's really the potential. So when we want profits, and if you are aggressive to profits, then there's always the risk to that, no? Another investment option is the fixed income products. So itong kind of product is like you pay for 6 years and on the seventh year onwards, you receive guaranteed annual income for a certain period of time. So yung benefit nitong product na to is like there's the fixed payment period na nabanggit natin, and there's also the guaranteed cash, and there's the dividends. Kung ano yung earning ng company, because you put money into the company, there's the dividends when there's the earnings. And there's also the business loan. So itong business loan na to is you are insured na nga, but you can borrow, quote unquote, the money that you have actually contributed to the insurance. So kumbaga meron kang emergency funds. But for me, I don't really recommend na ito yung tinitingnan natin for emergency funds like for business loan. Unless talagang babayaran mo siya. Otherwise, dahil you think that it's your money and then you loaned it and you're not going to pay it, may tendency na maglapse insurance. So we do not really recommend that, but that's an option. So, once your investments are set, that's when you start building business. Bakit ito yung nasa third ladder? Because business, according to studies, is 20% of businesses fail in the first year. So let's say there's like 10 or 20 businesses, 20% of them will fail on the first year. So if you have a business in your past 1 year, then congratulations. And the next one is like 50% of businesses will fail within 5 years. So for now, Savers Cabin is on its third year. So thank God, we're still praying that it will surpass the fifth year. And then 80% of businesses, of new businesses, will fail within 10 years. So once you pass the 10-year mark, then congratulations, your business is meant to strive. So if a business fails, your financial pyramid won't collapse kasi nandun na, na-set up na yung nasa base mo. So finally, once the ladder is complete, it's time for your luxury goals, or I would call it your dream assets. So ito na yung mga sasakyan, ito na yung mga bahay. However, karamihan sa atin is baliktad ang ating financial pyramid. Wala tayong emergency funds, walang savings, walang insurance, we have no investment. So that is posing a high risk. So karamihan sa atin, when funds come in, we think of buying a car or building a new house right away. So when emergency happens, everything collapses. Kasi kapag may emergency, you're going to sell your assets na, even at a loss, just to cover the needed finance. And worse is you're going to force to start over. So actually, ganito rin yung setup ko, no? But the good news is it's not too late. Even I had once this upside down financial pyramid, and there was the risk of collapse if something unexpected happened to me. So, imagine, I was aggressive back then. So ang ginawa ko is, the moment that I had been earning, I already invested in real estate. Even back then, I was actually earning like malaking earning ko for the past years. Pero you know what? Hindi ko na-enjoy yung the privilege of earning huge, like you're employed in other countries but you're working in the Philippines, no? Kasi pagdating ng sahod, talagang napupunta lahat doon sa mga property investment. And then one time, there was the brink of collapse kasi almost not able to pay those investments. And there's the risk of forfeiture. So imagine that, no? Like if actually that happens, lahat ng pinagpaguran ko ng ilang taon is parang biglang nawala. So that's when I took serious yung talagang something has to protect this asset and this wealth that we have built. Kasi sayang naman, like 10 years you work for something and then suddenly because of like emergencies is bigla na lang nag-collapse yung financial pyramid mo. So nawala yung mga pinagpagukan mo and then you're going to start over. And magkano lang naman sana yung amount to protect those assets or those wealth whenever emergencies will happen. So, as I said, the good news is it's not too late, no? The company that I carefully chose offers flexible products that fits what we have discussed. So, we have different needs. So, some would like to insure things and to insure more of those things, but some would like insure things but want to have some payout. So these are just one of the products that the company that I chose to work with is offering. So meron tayong mga VUL. So there's the insurance with the investment part. And there's also the endowment plan, wherein there's the insurance, but there's also the guaranteed cash benefits. And there's also the comprehensive health plan. So may insurance ka na, may health coverage ka pa, and mayroon pa ka pang guaranteed cash. So these are just one of the product solutions that the company offers. So, how do we budget to accommodate income protection? So the common rule is like 60-20-20. So sabi, 60% of your income should only go to expenses. So move natin to ng konti. So yun, expenses. And 20% would go to leisure. And 20%, another 20% would go to savings and investment. And that includes the insurance. But of course, this varies. For example, for someone earning 200,000 a month, 20% would be 40,000, no? So 40,000 of leisure but might be too high, it's a little bit extravagant. So in my case, I don't really follow this 60-20-20 rule. Although the basic rule of thumb is like 20% should be set aside for investments. So dito na yung insurance natin, and then dito na yung stocks natin. So I don't do leisure. I think 5% was allotted to leisure, and then syempre 10% for your tithes. So there's really different approaches of having this budgeting percentage. But yung rule of thumb nga is yung 20% should go to the investment. Bakit 20%? Kasi if this is the pie, no, this is the whole pie, imagine mo lang yung 20% is parang katiting lang ng pie. Kasi when we look at the amount that we are investing, feeling natin, ay, ang laki, sayang naman ng pera na yon. But if you're going to think of it, actually, that 20% is just a piece of the pie. Yung income natin, no? Yung nakukuha natin every month is parang katiting lang siya. So, 20% is very safe enough to be set and forget. Ito ba yung mga feeling mo na lang, tinatapon mo. Pero, at the back of your head, itong tinatapon mo na to could be your lifesaver in the future. Or it could be your income generator in the future, potentially, especially, let's say, if you enter stocks, alam mo yung mga ganun, like 5 or 10 years from now, there would be the increase. Insurance, it could protect you when there's emergency thing happens. So, our goal sana dito, kung bakit siya 20%, no, is just like, you're going to think of it na this is just yung mindset mo is ito yung itatapon ko na somehow, quote-unquote, itatapon na, but somehow it can potentially protect me in the future. So, hindi mo tinitingnan yung amount. Kasi kapag tinitingnan mo yung amount, let's say, your 20% is, let's say, 2,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 or even 10,000. So sabi mo, ay, ang taas naman ng 10,000. So tendency niya, kinukuripot mo yung 20%. But if you're going to look into that, na 20% is parang, kung yun yung treatment mo sa 10,000 or 20,000, it's just 20% of my income. It's just 20% of the pie. Katiting lang yun ng pie that will protect me in the future. So our future protection is not really a big requirement. Hindi niya sinasabi na 50% of your income should go to your future protection for your future self, or 60%. Kailangan mong iset aside yan kasi mahal ang buhay. Or ano ba? You have to protect your life. You have to protect your lifestyle. it is not requiring that much of you. It only requires 20%. And I'm not saying that 20% goes to insurance. No, 20% is going to these kinds of this investment portion for your life, no, for your risk. Kasi even if you're going to invest in stocks directly, stocks is not guaranteed. It pwede na yung stocks mo ngayon is pataas and then suddenly nawala yung value niya. But if you're going to maintain that stocks, well, over time, makikita mo pa rin yung trend na napataas pa rin siya. Like if you see the peso to dollar, pag ganun-ganun lang yung peso to dollar, taas, bagsak. But if you're going to see the long-term trend, 5 to 10 years perspective, kahit pag ganun-ganun yung dollar, nakikita mo na tumataas yung dollar pa rin. No? So, ganon siya. Even stocks is like you're going to treat is a set and forget. Ito yung mga tinatabi mo. Pero, tinatabi mo siya, pero nandun siya sa backup mo that can come in the future. So, it is not requiring too much of your current income. So, ito sana yung gusto kong, I want to emphasize. Like, you're going to set a 20% of your monthly income or monthly revenues for something to protect you in the future financially. So, ang daming option dyan. Like stocks, you're going to do insurance. So, mutual funds, mga ganun-ganun. So, I think, there's different types of approach for this one, and this is where I can actually also come in. So I think that ends our discussion for this presentation. So anong sabi ko dito, let me help you build and protect what matters most to you. No, so if you want guidance and if you'd like me to work alongside with you in studying, reviewing, or optimizing your financial plans, feel free to contact me. So I truly hope you learned something from this financial planning overview. And I hope you now see me as qualified to partner with you and in protecting the wealth and assets you've worked hard for. So I have here the contact numbers. So that's 0998-999-DESK. So that's actually 3375. So nakuha ko yun sa smart. And then Andy at imotna.com. You feel free to email me or feel free to message me in Facebook or wherever you watch this video. Feel free to comment and I'll be reaching out. So I hope the things that I have shared, you got to know me personally. Andun talaga yung advocacy ko. I think this is the only way that I could help each one of you. Kasi hindi po ako contractor. We have businesses still thriving. When it comes to medical bills, I really cannot afford. Even if I want to, I cannot really afford like paying medical bills for patients, But with this, helping you having like financial preparedness, when things strike, when emergencies strike, ito lang yung magagaranti ko na makakatulong sa atin. So, I hope you share my sentiment. And I'm really willing to help with you with your finances. So just feel free to reach out. So, it's your chance. You have an Andy Imotna at your service. So thank you very much and looking forward to be working with you. Feel free to ask any questions. And bye.